Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and here we are with a video to discuss my personal tier list. And when I say that, I mean exactly that. It is my personal tier list. So, this is my opinions only, this is nobody else, so you can feel more than free to agree or disagree. And I will discuss my tiers, which I have as 5 different ranks. So I have them as S rank, A plus tier, A tier, B tier, and C tier. A tier is basically, completely average, everything's decent, not too many faults. B and C definitely have a lot more faults. A plus and S rank, they're nothing but upside for the most part. Now, I want to mention one thing here. When I consider characters' power in this tier list, I'm considering everything. So that's just the character's raw power while you're playing them, and also the power of their assists as part of the total package, because I'm going to head this argument off to the past, because I know there's probably going to be some discussion about the Vegetas and my placement of them. But anyways, once again, completely on my own personal tier list. More than feel free to agree, disagree, and post why you agree or disagree in the comments. But anyways, I'm just going to show you my list as it stands, and then I'm going to get to the discussion of each tier. So let's start at the bottom of the list here. This is our C tier list. It contains of 2 characters, Nappa and Majin Buu. So Nappa, I don't like putting him in here, but I feel like I gotta put him here. And I say this as someone, I believe, there's very few people that have put the time and effort in Nappa that I have, and yet I really have to put him at the bottom. So the reasoning here is this, simply. When Nappa has you in the corner, you're knocked down, he's got a sideman in your face, he's calling an assist and all that stuff. Yeah, he's terrifying, sure. But the thing is, he has to work there. And not only that, he has you in the corner, all that, he's not even necessarily the most terrifying character to get you cornered. He's no adult Gohan, he's no kid Buu. The sideman is nice, but he's still, besides just the added additional hits, while it's still incredibly strong, don't get me wrong, it's still not much. And the real problem lies in here, is the part where you're not in the corner, the part where you gotta get him to the corner. Nappa's neutral is not great. He has stand heavy, which is easily his best move, and that's great, but if you put any amount of time into this game, this is a very airborne game, right? They're not just going to be on the ground for you just to smash stand heavy and get your hit. And when it comes to people who are jumping around a lot, Nappa just kind of can't deal. He has the giant explosion here, which is nominally meant to be like his one big helpful tool here. And because it does track too, right? And you can do it on the ground, you can do it in the air, but the tracking is incredibly poor. You are not going to catch people middle homing dash. They're just going to home right past it. The explosion will happen behind their backs. It's not a deterrent in any way, shape, or form. It'll catch people standing still, sure, but when are people really going to stand still, And besides that, it's just, he's big, and that's, there's characters that have placed very high up on this tier list that are big characters too, and, they can deal with it. The same as Nappa, that is being poorly, because big characters, bigger hurt box, so it's harder to avoid things, and especially in the corner. Certain characters, especially like adult Gohan, eat big characters for lunch. Big characters have a lot more trouble dealing with very low to the ground offense because it hits them before everyone else. They have certain setups they can't get out of that a smaller character could get out of, and as the game matures more, there's going to be a lot more, big character specific combos people are going to figure out, and none of that works in its favor. So I'm going to preface this and say, Nappa is my favorite character to play. He honestly really is. But despite the fact he's my favorite character to play, I gotta rank him here at the bottom. Now, unfortunately, sharing his position here in the bottom of the tier list is Majin Buu. So Majin Buu, when the game originally came out, was the character I was the most hyped for, and when it, just so you know, was the very first character I picked in this game, because that's how excited I was to play him. And it wasn't very long after I started picking him, I'm like, not too pleased. So big hitbox, same problem with Nappa here. I thought he'd be full of these long-range moves, and yes, his jump heavy is fantastic. Absolutely, can't argue it. Jump down heavy, also fantastic. So when it comes to the neutral problem we mentioned here with Nappa, he doesn't suffer as much from it because he can control space quite a bit better than Nappa can. But that said, that's kind of all he has. The Buu smoke bomb here, serviceable at best is all I can give it. Cartwheel is alright for combo fodder, but outside of combos, no practical use. We have the capture state, which we'll talk about in a second here, and that's pretty good here. And you have the overhead, which, unless you want to go for like Street Fighter 4 era E-Honda weird cross-up setups that don't do much damage, you know, you're not going to get much. It's mostly just combo fodder. So the biggest strength with him is the reset into the capture state here. So that's fine. That's great even. But he has to spend a lot of bar, do suboptimal damage to get to it, and then do suboptimal damage after he gets it, because the combo capture state is going to scale his combo massively. So while he has nominally, you know, a great setup, it just is too resource intensive for giving up too much for too little of a reward, in my opinion. So that said, the fact, you know, outside of the fact, you know, besides this and this, he doesn't have too much going on for him. I just gotta say, he's just not one of the better characters in the game. So these are two characters here. This is my favorite character to play, and the character I was most hyped for to play originally, and I unfortunately got to put him at the bottom of the list. So I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, because my most played character is right at the top of the list. So it's not just that characters I like, I'm going to put them down at the bottom and downplay them, because like I said, spoiler, Android 16 is going to be near the top, or basically he's at the top. But yeah, I don't like saying this, but this is my opinion only, obviously. But yeah, Nappa and Majin Buu are just simply the two worst characters in the game. So now going up one rank here to the B rank. So I don't feel any of these characters are quite as bad off as poor Nappa and poor Majin Buu here in the C rank, but I find them to be flawed characters. Now this rank consists of Ginyu, Piccolo, and Vegeta Blue. So you might notice here I just said Vegeta Blue and not Vegeta Yellow, no, not Super Saiyan Vegeta. So is Vegeta Blue a better character than Super Saiyan Vegeta while he's out on the front overall? And I'm going to say, yeah, he is. He really is. But he lacks the two things that really set Super Saiyan Vegeta apart, which is the assist, which, as you all know by now, is I've already put down as the single best assist in the game with nothing else coming close. And even if you don't rate it that highly, you still got to admit it's an incredibly strong assist. And the fact that he has a true invincible reversal, no meter needed, which is an incredibly rare thing in this game. And those two things put him above Vegeta Blue. Because Vegeta Blue, while he has overall a better game plan, you know, he's got a really nice basic ki blast. He's got Rekkas here that are pretty decent. And of course, you know, he has the dunks, which everyone loves. But while these things give him the edge while he's, you know, a character in the middle of a battle over Super Saiyan Vegeta, the problem is here that he inherits a lot of his flaws. So they share basically all the same normals here, which for Vegeta are not great. Like his stand heavy is a smidge better, and by smidge I mean exactly that, one smidge. It is not out and out better, it's just a tiny little bit better. But yeah, those stubby jabs, the stubby crouch light, all the jump attacks are, you know, fairly short range, just like Super Saiyan Vegeta. And so he's not really much of a threat when he's anywhere but directly in your face, and he has nothing to facilitate him being directly in your face other than just running in and getting in your face. So for that reason, I just have to say Super Saiyan Vegeta is just overall the better character, even if it's mostly on the back of the assist and having an invincible reversal. Now, moving on to Ginyu. Now, this one's going to be a contentious one. I know it. But here's where I'm at on Ginyu. Will there be the person coming in a month or 2 months from now, or even anytime in the future from now, that's going to change everyone's mind on Ginyu? Maybe. Yeah, probably. But as it stands right now, I've seen some absolutely competent players play Ginyu, absolutely, and I've seen some pretty cool things with Ginyu. But nothing's made me go, wow. The biggest thing holding Ginyu back is this slavish, dependence on the rotation, where the characters are fixed, and that's it. So, like, if Ginyu could just choose which character you wanted and whenever you wanted, I would say no problem, he's the best character in the game, stand down. Because, you know, the final Jason Birder move is definitely what you're always building up to, and that's basically the best move in the game. It's, you know, unstoppable, massive pressure, saves you from everything. And so I know the idea is you have to build up to that, but it's so hard to juggle mentally, you know, when you're on, where you're at, and people can do it, absolutely. It's not impossible by any stretch of the means, but being stuck on the rotation, say, you know, you're stuck on Birder. You're really stuck on Birder, and yeah, the next one will be the Death Ball, but what we really want is the Raccoon laser coverage of the lower part of the ground right now versus them doing a setup, and that's all. You just have to groove on it. Since you're so dependent on what your rotation is, I simply can't rate him that high. His normals are very nice, actually. He's got some decent range normals here. You see here, like his stand medium's got some decent range. It's one of the better stand mediums. And another thing here too, Milky Cannon, or not Milky Cannon, what is it called in the game again? Powerful Energy Wave. Well, Milky Cannon, it's just bad. It's a low damage level 1, and the extra bars you put into it are simply not worth it. It scales incredibly poorly for each additional bar, and Body Swap, while a very neat gimmick, is simply just that. It's just a gimmick, and I can't really back it. So for these reasons, I have to rate Ginyu as a lower tier character. Once again, will that person come in the future that'll change everyone's mind on Ginyu? I hope so. But until that day comes and that person shows us all what we were doing wrong, I have to rate him lowly. And finally, Piccolo. And this one hurts me too, because I like Piccolo a lot. Piccolo, he's got a great tool bag. He's got a great bag of tricks. It's just none of them are outstanding. Like the whole side switch thing, while, you know, it's great to gimmick people out, it's just that. It's a gimmick. It's not reliable for real play. You will gimmick out the odd hit that you kind of didn't deserve, sure, but I don't feel it's a solid move at all. The move here with the armor, the guard point, it's not amazing. Once again, you can gimmick people out with the cross-up, sure, but he has to use an EX version to get a hard knockdown anywhere but the corner. That's not fun. He has to use a bar for something that basically every other character can do for no resource at all. His corner pressure, while very strong, kind of boils down to just doing the homing ball and doing some sort of pressure follow-up. And if someone just delays and then deflects the wake-up, you know, that kind of destroys everything you tried to do, because deflect basically beats all the options other than just base throw. But if you're trying to toss out a ball, as soon as you toss it out, then the base throw is not going to work anymore, basically, because they can deflect it, or they're in block stun and then your throw is going to miss. It's everything about him is like almost there, but until it's, you know, the command grab, well, definitely caught me many times raw early on. The more I see it, the more I realize, you know, how reactable it is. The more I can just like jump out of it for free. It's not a great tool. It's just, I feel like he's only a couple small buffs away from a future patch to being a great character. But once again, just right now, I just feel right now, as he currently stands, he's below average and not up to the par of the rest of the cast. Now on to the A tier. This is easily the largest tier, comprises basically the bulk of the cast. I do believe there is some variance in this tier. I do believe some characters are better than others in this tier, but not enough to break them off into their own distinct and separate tiers. So what I'm going to do here, because some of these are pretty obvious, you know, like Goku, base Super Saiyan Goku here. Is he the best character in the game? No. Is he a bad character? No. He's perfectly serviceable. He's not as good as the great. It's not as bad as the bad. So obviously Goku's here. So I'm not going to talk in depth as every character here, but I do want to mention a couple more in particular. Then I'm going to start with Trunks here. So Trunks, I feel, is on the cusp of this tier. He's definitely closer to the top end of things of this tier versus on the bottom end of things on this tier. There's a lot going right with Trunks. So he's got a standard beam, always a good thing to have. He's got the command flip. It's very tricky stuff, and it's a great combo extender, especially in the corner. If you've seen some of the fancier combo videos out there for him, you can really extend some combos here with the command jump. He's got one of the better auto attack chains too. With this here, because it is a side switcher. So one, you can steal the corner from the enemy if they're in the corner, because normally you're not allowed to do that outside of a couple gimmicks. And even in regular play here, that final hit is special cancelable. So you can do stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to block that right the first time. You just aren't. I've been blasted by that quite a few times. He has great specials here. The Change the Future here has a massive hitbox, also his assist, and just as useful. The initial rush also knocks away basic projectiles. He's got the command overhead, pretty decent. He's got one of the better basic beams, basic key blasts in the game with his beam, which is also jump okay and has an incredible arc. And nothing I can really fault him with. He's just a complete package. The only thing, like I said, I consider him on the upper end of the A tier, but he's just not as powerful as the people I put in the A+ tier, and I don't think many people would argue once you see who the A+ tier are. But a very solid character, absolutely. Gotenks, mostly the same thing. God Beam, also great to have here. He's got a bit of a capture state, also the assist, not, you know, as a true capture state like, say, Majin Buu's is, but still great. He's got so many weird, like, properties on all of his specials with the double canceling, and he's just a little dynamo. Like, once again, there's absolutely nothing bad about this character. I find the Kamikaze Ghost is one of the better level 1s in the game, because obviously if you just do the basic version here, they all attack, and that's great. And they attack in a stagger, so you can just, you know, kind of keep pressure on. And if you do the other version here, they'll just stay in place, and you can just send them out, you know, as per your choosing here, one per button. And that's pretty good. And, you know, I kind of like the missile barrage here, because it's a great vantage target. And once again, there's nothing bad about this here. It just, he doesn't simply matches up to the A+ tier. Now, Frieza, also solid. He's one of the few guys I would consider to be more on the zoning end of things, because he can control space in a way basically almost no other character can with the ground explosions, as they cover a lot of the airspace too, so he can't just jump around and avoid it. The only thing is the spacing issue. And he's just a really solid all-rounder. You know, really good basic key blast. He's got teleport gimmicks here that take no bar. That's really rare. To not have the spin bar on any manner of teleport. Just really strong. The one quibble I do got with him, that is his assist. So if we bring him in here, his assist does have a minimum distance. So you can toss it out and you can just simply be too close for it to hit. And I feel that's one thing that holds it back. In the corner doesn't matter, because it won't use the minimum distance anymore. But other than that, I do think that's one little thing that's definitely negative in this court, is having the minimum distance, so his assist is simply not as reliable as some other characters can be. On to 18, fantastic pressure. Some of the best pressure in the game that's currently available here. Her calling in 17 has all manner of fantastic just pressure application, especially in the corner. The one thing that's holding her back is just simply, and once again, she's not a bad character in any way, shape, or form. That's why she's up in this tier. Just very stubby buttons. So her stand medium serviceable. I would not really call it good, just serviceable. But those jabs very small. Like even other characters can like reach like. Most characters can hit with some manner of low from this distance. She just can't. Her air normal is also very unimpressive. So she definitely trades in that regard. Her projectile is alright, and does a lot of chip if you're not aware of how Destructor Disc works. They do a lot of chip damage here. She can even control it a little bit, but a beam it is not. It just simply does not offer the space control a beam can offer. So, you know, a lot of high points when it comes to her pressure game, because anything with 17, and you know, she has command grab as well, very strong. Although one thing on the command grab here, I don't find it as useful as it could be, just simply because, you know, Dragon Rush for the same thing, you get just as much damage as a command grab into Vanish combo and Netchu, at, you know, the cost of not having to use the bar. But still, strong character, absolutely. High pressure, but bad neutral in my opinion. Now, Krillin. Some people think Krillin's bad. I don't think he's bad at all. I think the assist is very iffy, but as far as Krillin, just in general, he's pretty good. So stubby buttons, absolutely. Once again, serviceable stand medium, but everything else very stubby. But his range game is fantastic. He's got air Kamehameha, he's got the ground Kamehameha. He can even hold it, you know, and like kind of make you think about your spacing and timing. He's got some of the best Okazeme in the game. That's called another term for what we call wake-up pressure. So you get whatever your combo is, doesn't really matter. And you toss yourself one of them rocks. Whoop, there we go. You toss yourself one of those rocks, and you can just run on in. You don't need an assist to cover yourself. The rock will come out even if Krillin is hit. So, see, I can hit Krillin, the rock's still coming out. So it's very advantageous for Krillin just, you know, toss the rock. Mid-screen, if they back roll, you want to do the medium rock. If they get up in place, you want to do the light rock. And in the corner, you don't need to guess. You just do it, and the rock will bounce off, and it'll get all sorts of wake-ups. So, the fact that he's got a beam, he's got an air beam, that lets him really control the aerial part of the screen as well. And the fact he has fantastic pressure on wake-up, that's great. It more than covers up his weaknesses of very stubby buttons. And finally, Blue Goku. And I'm going to talk about regular Goku here as well. So, Blue Goku, is he a better character overall than regular Goku? I would say he edges him out a little bit. He's got one of the best auto attack strings in the game because he has the low overhead, and that low is so good, by the way. Like, you have so much hit stun in that low, you can like get a Dragon Rush in the corner. Like, look at that, that's ridiculous. He's a fairly high damage character. He's got a really good level 1 in the Warp Kamehameha. He can burn 5 bars for his level 3. Let's just get the extra bar, which gives him so much more reach. Like, his ability to knock out a character if you can just burn all your bars, it's fantastic, because, you know, you're not always going to have your additional characters to burn the bar, and he can do it solo, so that's really fantastic. The biggest thing holding him back, and I still stand firmly by this, I think he has the single worst assist in the game in that dive kick. Yeah, I know it causes the slide out knockdown, some people can't do that by themselves, but it's bad, in my opinion. It's just not. There is no redeeming quality other than the fact that it hits and does damage. I think every other assist, even the bad ones, outclass it. And for base Goku, well, he's got the beams. He's the master of the beam. He's the only character to have 4 beams. He's got the laterals in the air, and he can angle them downward in the air, and he can angle it upward in the ground. So, he just got a really strong Grain Pen. I find his EX Rush Punch is an unsung hero, because it just brings you to the enemy no matter where they are on the screen, and is an overhead, and causes a slide out, so you can get a level 1 follow-up afterwards. I don't find his overall buttons are as good as Goku Blue's, and he's obviously missing some of the teleport gimmicks and all that he has, but just all around, he's the solid character. He's definitely the Ryu of the game. Onwards to Android 21. Once again, very serviceable character, that's why she's in this tier. I find her ground game is quite a bit stronger than most other characters here, especially when you want to fight at the range of her tail, and she can definitely extend her tail for some reach. You know, a lot of characters can't even begin to, well, reach. Her biggest thing holding her back is this. Her aerial game is very weak. She has her basic Ki Blast, which in the air is definitely one of the best basic Ki Blasts. Don't get me wrong here. The coverage and everything about it is fantastic. That's all she got. Like, she can do a command grab in the air, but that's like, you know, you're not going to randomly toss that out. So when she's in the air, she's just very susceptible to being homing dashed. Like, more so than most other characters, because she basically has no real business being in the air. And that's kind of the sad story. On the ground, absolutely. On the ground, she's one of the best characters by quite a bit. Because she can just really crank in that pressure with her long-range normals. But in the air, she just suffers. I know some people think she's really strong because I've had to talk to some people about various absorb combo videos they've seen where you get, like, you know, 7 Kamehamehas in one combo. And I'm here to tell you those aren't real match practical at all. The long story of Absorb here, and I put a lot of time into her, more than quite a few other people. The Absorb, the actual part where the Absorb is the command grab, is better than the move you absorb. It's nice once you get a Kamehameha, because it's definitely better than her stock Fireball. Sure, absolutely. But these, like, massive teleport absorb combos with Kamehamehas and all that, they're basically, honestly, in the realm of just combo videos, and you're almost never going to see that in real play. If you go for an Absorb, you're giving up better damage and better setups, and that's the sad truth of the matter, is when you go for the Absorb, unless you can somehow guarantee you're going to then tag in the next guy to get the magic teleport combo, you're just playing suboptimally at that point. It is not in your best interest to go for the Absorb. It's your best interest to go for the real damage. Because not only do you get the real damage, she gets a lot of great pressure off a lot of her knee drops in the corner. You can force a lot of decent guessing games, and when you do an Absorb in the corner, you basically, you know, just force the enemy out, because the Absorb always switches sides, and yeah, you can spend a bar, but then once again, you're burning resource on stuff that's suboptimal. That's not to say it's bad at all. It's just she, it's basically a false siren song. A lot of people are attracted to play her for the reason of the Absorb. What I'm telling you, it's simply just not that as great as you think it is. Is it nice to have, like, that homing ball move? Yeah, absolutely, sure. But it's not a massive thing to their game plan, and a lot of people try to go out of the way, which only hurts their game plan in the end. Definitely stick to what she's good at, which is her normals and ground control, but what holds her back is her air game is really bad. Now, onto the human heroes, Tien and Yamcha. So Tien's definitely a more offensive-focused guy. This move is basically impossible to block online. I've never successfully blocked it online. I've managed to luckily randomly jab people out of it, and he's a really good offensive dynamo. Absolutely. He's got such fast range, great block strings. He has really oddball normals. I'm not going to say they're bad, just oddball, like stuff like has to stand heavy. And I've more than a few times, you know, try to hit a button in the block string, he backsteps, I hit the button, and then he just comes forward and crushes me, and then I get recomboed. Yamcha's a very, you know, non-standard offense as far as the offense of this game goes, but it's still a very strong offense. And on to Tien. Tien, like Goku, he's kind of, you know, a great all-rounder, except potentially a bit more vanilla than Goku. Dodon Ray is not as good as Kamehameha because it just leaves you in place for a lot longer than Kamehameha does. But he's got great normals here. Stand Heavy's got a lot of reach. He can really play around with the ground with the volleyball fist, especially the medium, because it does have the armor on top of it. So you can just kind of charge in. Air-wise, you know, his Ki Blast is decent, but he still has the threat of a straight beam in the air, so that's pretty alright. I don't need to tell you, yo, ain't nobody burn bar as good as Tien. Yeah, it cost him his life, but Tien's basically the ultimate finisher in the game. And he also has really good Okazame, so any basic knockdown here, Chaozu, as long as you get your timing right, will cover all possible wake-ups. So they basically have to block, and if they don't block, Chaozu will hold him in place long enough for you to get down heavy, and you can just start your own combo from there. So once again, all around, solid all-rounder. Is a great anchor no matter what your team is, as he can burn bar better than a lot of the characters in the game. And for our last group of characters here in the A tier of characters, so Beerus, once again, as a lot of these characters, perfectly serviceable. The monster sweep is definitely plus in its favor here, as it hits from like everything short of full screen. So here we are, exactly full screen, one step forward, it's going to connect. Monstrous move, absolutely. The biggest thing that really hurts him, and I don't know how I feel about it, is the orbs. So the orbs are cool, you know, neat. I hesitate to call them a gimmick because I feel they're better than just a gimmick. But, you know, they're definitely one of the core parts of his game plan, and the fact that they made homing dash through for free hurts. Now, if they couldn't be homing dash through for free, that'd be too much too, so I don't know what the happy ground is, because, like, he could just toss this out and just hide behind it, and, you know, that would be dumb. But it's hard for him to get any kind of real setup going with the orbs anywhere other than the corner. I do like the fact he has a level 3 grab, just because, you know, just the extra threat, the extra reach with it. You know, the dive's alright as a combo extender. I find, you know, this is a very decent stand heavy just to toss out, because it has a disjointed hitbox, meaning the part that hits goes out quite a bit further than the part where you can hit him. And just once all, just perfectly serviceable. It's just the orbs being hit, his core conceit of the game plan, being the fact they are so easily dealt with by homing dash or any projectile, just wiping them out for free, just hurts him. So, not hurt him enough to be a low tier character, but hurts him enough that I can't place him in anything other than the A tier. Vegeta, we already talked about him here with Blue Vegeta. But just as a reminder, is he a worse character overall than Blue Vegeta while you're actually playing him? Pound for pound, yeah, he is. But he's got one of the few true invincible moves in the game that costs no bar, and he's got the assist. It's the assist, the capital letters assist. And with that in mind, it simply puts him up higher on the tier list than Blue Vegeta. And for young boy Gohan here, young lad Gohan, so he's got a lot of what makes his older self very famous. He's got monstrous pressure, high damage combos, but when it comes down to it, yo, he's got those little baby T-Rex arms. He's no threat in neutral for the most part. He doesn't even have a traditional beam. He has like that unique bomb move, and that's pretty cool. But he's got no traditional beam to threaten with. He's got no way to get in other than to get in. And the fact that he has no real projectiles and no real reach, it hurts him. Is his pressure top tier? Yeah, his pressure is top tier. But then again, even adult Gohan's pressure is still better than that. So, once again, great character. Offense is an S. But the everything else is resoundingly average, and thus he's stuck in the average tier. Now on to the next tier. Now on to the A+ tier. So this tier consists of Goku Black, Kid Buu, Adult Gohan, and Hit. Now, just saying that, if it's not immediately apparent here why they're already heads and shoulders above, you know, the people I just listed in the A tier. Maybe I haven't played too much of the game, I don't know. But these guys definitely stand heads and shoulders above the rest of the cast. So first up here, Adult Gohan. He has the whole level up thing, which, you know, I've detailed in a different video. And each level up, especially level 1, is a very important level as it makes him monstrously stronger. Gets all sorts of properties, all sorts of new things. You know, his back fist becomes just a teleport anywhere move, getting to bypass neutral completely, and teleport anywhere moves are very rare in this game. Normally, the pleasure of teleporting anywhere costs you a bar, and Gohan just can say the heck with it. I can just be wherever I want to be, wherever I want to be there. And, you know, that's wrong. He has a standard beam, and standard beam, once you're level 1, does the most damage of any beam in the game, so that's really good. He's got the machine gun kicks. He's got the machine gun kick pressure in the corner, especially the EX version here, which is very difficult to deal with if you don't know a few of the tricks, and only certain characters can deal with it. And the big characters are just can't. They just can't. That's all. When Gohan wants to get into these kind of loops here in the corner, the big characters just have to groove on it. That's the end of the story. And that kind of stinks, but that's the way it is. They have to guard cancel their way out. But he's just an offensive monster. Now, on top of being an offensive monster, he's got the beam. That's great. And he's got the buttons. His medium is so far. His stand medium. Like, he can fight you from a range other characters most part can't. And he's got the slide, which goes even further yet. On top of that, he's got good damage. And like his pressure is out of this world. He's got the single best pressure in the game, in my opinion. That no one else, some people get close, but no one else is as good as him. He's got a lot of character-specific combos that can do ridiculous damage with Tiger Knee leg loops and all that. Just, there's so much about him that's good, and I guess that is a testament to the strength of the people who are above him in tier, that I just said all this stuff about him, and I still consider them even better than he is. But yeah, just what more can I say? Fantastic. Goku Black? Yo, it's Goku Black. The normals are the down heavy. Look at this stupid move. Like, what is this? And it hits everywhere. It hits behind him too. He's got the beam. He's got an unblockable beam. He's got dive kicks. He's got neutral bypassing moves where I just do this and I'll call my assist on the way over your head and try to hit you cross up. He's got teleports and gimmicks and instant overheads and everything's so good. Everything's so good. Like, what team wouldn't be better for having Goku Black on it? Name the team. What team isn't better for having him on it, you know? Such dominant normals, such dominant moves, you know, beam. The worst I could say is, I guess, his neutral normals are only, you know, average. They're not even bad. But, you know, with all these other tools, you know, geez Louise, he's so good. Kid Buu also, so good. When it comes to the grounded part of the game, Kid Buu is uncontested. I talked about Android 21 having such good range and all that. Well, guess what? He can hit you from even further away and for more damage from further away. So, he wins in that regard. He's got the Candy Beam. He's the only guy with a Candy Beam that doesn't have to burn bar to regain health. So, in essence, in a way, he kind of has more effective health than a lot of the other characters in the game, because he can regain health by himself. It's not a lot, sure, but, you know, any is a lot. Any is much better than number than 0, right? He's got an air beam, Candy Beam, as far as the ground is concerned, acts just like a beam, clashes like a beam. Maybe not as good as the Kamehameha on the ground, but still, you know, better than most. He can attack at such weird oddball angles with the rolls. He gets pressure off the rolls off a combo. Like, I can do this, and now I'm just in your face, you know? Like, I can backdash if I'm going to try something and then catch you on the backdash with, you know, one of my legs here. I can just keep the pressure up if I have, especially if I have an assist. I can basically near guarantee the pressure. The stomps are so good. You have to watch your toes everywhere on the screen. Just, once again, this is going to be a recurring story here. Everything is so good. Everything is so good. He's even got some of the sassier cross-ups with this stuff here. Yeah, he's got to burn the bar. But still, you know, it gives you less time to react to most other cross-ups. It's a little tricky here because, you know, it's hard to talk and play at the same time here. But, well, there we go. I'm not going to keep doing it. But the fact that you can just, you know, blast you with that instant cross-up key blast, you have less time to react to a cross-up than most other people can, and then you can just go into EX Flash and get a combo from there. That's just one aspect. There's just so much good about him. Once again, all these characters, so much is good about him. So now let's move on to Hit here. Now, as for Hit, he's in a way the most limited of these characters in this group here. His air offense is nothing to talk about. He's incredibly limited on the air. You know, even combo variety in the air, it's not much to speak of. His whole air game is, I guess in the word for it, it's bad. It is bad. His grounded game is, well, there you go, you know. It's really good. Maybe not as good as Kid Buu, but very fast, very strong. His buttons have such reach. Very strong, very fantastic. You know, he's got the not amazing low, you know, because that's a very bad down medium as far as down mediums go. But, you know, he's still a catch-all person. But the one key thing about Hit is he's basically playing a different game than everyone else, thanks to his stances. He has just such the oddball stuff, like the projectile hits you no matter where you are on the screen. That's really cool. And, you know, it's pretty decent for advantage cancels. Certain assists like Goku Black or the regular Goku can really extend so you can get a second rep. The fact that his stance alone, this stance, when he's there, he's not on the screen. Like, he's literally not there. Like, the only thing that can hit him while he's in this stance is... Oh, let's try that again here. Only thing that can hit him while he's in the stance, you can see I'm going to just clearly go through him, is a throw. So if he does the stance, you can still throw him. But other than that, he's just not on the screen. It's not that he's invincible. He's just not present. So he can bypass a lot of stuff. And on top of that, like, you know, all the weird cross-up stuff. It's so difficult to get a gauge on where he is on the screen, especially with, you know, all the weird double cross-up stance stuff. Backstep makes basically everything safe. He's got the unblockable in the ice. And no matter how good you are, you're going to get randomly caught by this. It does not matter. It's gives you so little time to think about it, and when you're in the corner and you're just, you know, getting attacked and you got no room to breathe, no room to think, and the fact you have like 1 split second to block this while he's in your face, you're going to get hit by it more often than not. And then once he gets it, you know, you advantage cancel into a combo. He just plays a different game than everyone else. Yes, as air combat, air neutral is really bad, but generally speaking, if you're full screen, the fact that he can threaten you with an unblockable from full screen, the fact that he has these projectiles from full screen, they can just do this and like literally go right through your beams and your projectiles and then hit you on the other end with his. Just so strong. His pressure's fantastic. His neutral's fantastic. His air neutral not so much, but on the ground's fantastic, and he can hit you from weird angles no other character can. And so we reached the end game. So Cell and 16 are just the best characters in the game. End of story, hands down. So I'm going to talk about it a bit here because I don't want to end it on that note. But just the fact that I just talked up the last 4 characters in the A+ tier, and these guys are even better yet. So for 16, let's just talk about him first. Is he flawed in a lot of ways? Yeah, sure. He's extra wide, extra tall, so when we went all the way to the bottom of the tier list and talked about Nappa, all those things are still present with him. His air game is not amazing. He basically only has the Ki Blasts, which have very minor tracking, and they're pretty decent, don't get me wrong. As far as air Ki Blasts go for basics, it's definitely one of the better ones, but when it comes to the standard of best character in the game, it's not as amazing as you might think. But just, yo, this move, right? Let's talk about this. So, it is the only armored normal in the game. If we time it right here, so old man Goku, we don't care. We can just plow right through it. It's terrifying, and the crouch heavy one has the same armor here. It makes you rethink every move you're going to make, because as soon as you're in this distance, you're always threatened by just being randomly shoulder tackled into your own oblivion. So he put mental pressure on you that most characters out there can't. They just can't do it, because you're always in threat of just being randomly shoulder charged into randomly losing a character. On top of that, so it's so easy for him to get any assist combo, because any combo with a dunk is basically any combo that's going to end into assist, you know, into another dunk and just more damage. It's so easy. Every character can get assist combos, yeah, sure, but him, it's just the threat of it's so much more omnipresent than any character. So thus he always will basically do more damage on average than most other characters, because it's so easy to recombo with him. you know, just the range of his normals is fantastic here. And of course, you know, the ever-dreaded mix-up here. You know, this is a multi-layered mix-up because once you get past mix-up layer 1, if I hit you in front and you know, I can keep pressuring you, then you got to do a mix-up layer 2 of, you know, I'm going to do the cross-up into a full combo, and then it's like mix-up layer 3 of once you're, I just assume you're good enough to block either one. That you say you even have preternatural prowess and prescience, that you know which one, which side to block. Cool, then I'm just going to like run up and throw you. And there's so many layers. And it's very easy for him to end the combo that by burning a bar using some manner of assist. With that in mind, just makes him terrifying. He can basically do this weird setup game that no other character in the game can easily do anywhere on the screen for no bar. On top of the strengths of his absurd shoulder charge, you know, the key blast being better than average overall, in my opinion. Especially when it comes to damage, because they do a nice little chunk of damage if they both connect. The great normals, yeah, he suffers from being a bigger character. His air game's not amazing, but he simply has higher highs than any character in the game. Now, come to Cell. Does Cell have higher highs than Android 16? No. But is he the pound-for-pound best overall character in the game? Yes. The only aspect I can knock him is he's tall. When he's crouching, he actually is kind of average height. He's not like a tall and fat like Nappa and 16 are. So his crouching is fine. But when he's just standing, he's tall, so he's a little more prone to being hit by some random things. But when it comes to neutral, he's got the beam. He's got the up beam. He's got air beam, a downward angle, 45-degree angle. It's an incredibly aggressive angle here that covers the majority of the screen. And good luck trying to homing dash in on him at any angle unless you're way above him when he's doing it. At which point, you know, why would he do it to begin with, right? Just such an aggressive angle. So good. And buttons, like, yo, he's got the Bison slide. Is this the longest slide in the game? No, it's not. But the fact he's got anything like this is great. You know, he's got a bunch of command normals that can extend his block strings. He can completely bypass the neutral for free. You can just do this, spin a bar, and like, bingo, bango, bongo. He's got a easy, you know, oven bake combo for zero thought, and just he doesn't have to play neutral at all. He can just be in whenever he wants. Now, is this a bit slower? And yeah, you can down heavy it, sure, but in a high pressure situation, especially, you know, when assists are like, you know, filling the stream with garbage, it's not as easy as you think it can be. Sometimes you'll get hit by it when you think you had it dead to rights when you didn't, and it's just so good. And on top of that, just his combos. So like his basic bread and butter combo here. So this combo, and here, let's start it in the corner, because I feel showing it in the corner is what really will make it understand. You understand why his basic bread and butter combo is so good. Okay, did it burn a bar? Yeah, but the move is bar positive. Is it way in excess of above average damage? Yes, it is. It'll do more damage than most of the cast by putting a super in their combo. So in that essence, sure. And what it did do here is, hey, it basically brings you corner to corner. So Cell can basically always bring it to the corner no matter what. So that was an edge case where I'm literally in the exact opposite end of the screen, but it just brings you corner to corner. And then, you know, we have stuff like, you know, the very famous corner loop combos that do incredible damage for solo for no bar, which I dropped because I'm talking, but you get the idea. He has stuff like down key blast here. This move right here is plus on block, so if they block it all and don't try to homing dash through it, it is your turn in front of their face, especially in the corner. It's just, he has an unblockable, which you then, of course, you know, you can vanish cancel and do an easy combo, which I dropped because I'm talking, but you get the idea. It's just, I know this is gimmicky to say this, but he's basically perfect. The only thing I can knock him for is when he's standing, not crouching, just standing, he's a bit taller than everyone else, and then the rest is just all pure upsides. He's fantastic in every aspect of the game. He has above average damage, above average neutral, above average everything. He's just, along with 16, the pound for pound best character in the game. Well, that was a fun video, wasn't it? So, after it's all said and done, will you agree with everything I said? Almost certainly not. But if, you know, have anything to talk about, anything you want to agree, discuss, disagree with, whatever, post in the comments. I'll be watching the comments. We can hash it out together. This is my personal tier list. Once again, this is no one's list but mine. Do not take this as, you know, law in any way, shape, or form, or the definitive list. It's just what I personally feel about the game, playing it now, since as of the time of this recording, it's been out for about a month and change. I don't think many of you will disagree with the top, and in fact, if I think you disagree with the top, I think you're wrong. But, you know, that's where it stands, that's where I think, and I hope you derived any kind of insight from this. I kind of enjoyed talking about all the characters. It was fun, and thank you very much for watching. So, as always, thank you for watching. I hope this video found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.